Jessie. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you again.
Good to
Definitely.
see you too.
How's your day going so far?
It's going pretty good. A little tiring, but
Yeah, it's definitely a Monday.
yeah,
It's definitely a Monday. So you're still kind of fresh off of your summer vacation. How did you enjoy your summer vacation?
I had a lot of fun this summer. It was really, really busy, really hectic, but did a lot of really cool stuff. So
Sure. Did you get to go back home to DC? I know that you love spending time with your family, so did you get a chance to go back to see them?
yeah, I got to go back home for a little bit. Most of my family actually spends the summers up in New Hampshire, so I was at home in DC for a little bit, but then I spent a month and a half, 2 months with them up in New Hampshire. So.
Oh, wow. Do you guys always go to New Hampshire?
Yep, we have a summer house on a lake up there. It's been in my family for like 130 years or something.
Oh,
so.
wow. I bet it's beautiful up there.
It is. It's gorgeous.
Relaxing.
Right on a lake, and it's mountains in the back. It's great.
Wow. Does it actually get really hot up there, or is it kind of...
Every once in a while, it gets a little hot. We had an oddly hot week this summer that got up to mid-90s, but usually, usually the highest it gets is mid-80s.
Oh.
And because you're right on the water, you can just go jump in the lake if you get too hot. You know?
So it's perfect, pretty much.
It's great, yeah. I mean, it gets cold enough sometimes that you have to have a fire in the fireplace.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't know that you went all the way to New Hampshire. That seems like a cool adventure.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Did you have any other adventures all summer?
Yeah, I went on a road trip with my sister.
Oh.
We went down on a tour of the South because we haven't seen a whole lot of America. So we went to North Carolina, Georgia, Louisiana, Alabama, and Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And then my aunt and my sister and I went to Spain, Portugal, and Morocco for 2 weeks.
Wow, so you got to go to South in America, and then you got to go overseas, so internationally. Okay.
Yeah.
So what were some of the highlights from down south that you really enjoyed?
Well, we got to stay with my grandma for a couple days. It was good to see her. She lives further away than most of our family does, so we don't get to see her a lot. And we went to this ranch in North Carolina where you go and drive through the ranch, and it's like a game preserve, kind of.
Oh.
So there are emus and buffalo and zebras, and you can feed them out the window, and some of them will come right up and like stick their head in the window.
Zebras? Wow.
I have a picture of the zebra eating my sister's shirt.
Nice. I didn't know that they had zebras on the game reserves like that.
Yeah, it's like a really weird mix of animals. There are a lot of pigs and weird deer things, and then they've got giraffes. They're in a big enclosure though, because I think the giraffes would probably step on the cars.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've got a rhino and some like longhorned bulls. And things. It's just an eclectic mix of animals.
Oh, cool. So it was you and your sister, right? Your younger sister?
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you guys decide that you wanted to road trip?
Well, she's in her senior year of college now, and I'm in my last year of grad school, and we're both planning on not going back to school after this. So it kind of seemed like the last summer we'd have a chance to do something before we had to get jobs and all that.
Do all the adult stuff. Definitely. Wow. Did you guys get to go to Louisiana, you said?
Yep, we went to New Orleans for a couple days.
Oh, what was that like?
It was definitely a cultural experience. Neither one of us is huge on crowds, so there were a lot of people there, and that was a little overwhelming. But we got to see a lot of really cool things. We went to a voodoo museum. Got to hold a snake.
I know how much you like snakes.
And then we got, every once in a while there were parades on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
And we went to the French Market. And so it was a lot of great culture that you don't get to experience in DC or Ohio.
Exactly. Did you get to go to cool jazz places or anything like that?
We didn't, mainly because we were on a budget. The hotel we were staying at was like half an hour outside of New Orleans, so we didn't want to be there too late at night. And, we did get to see a lot of music going on just along the street during the day.
Cool. And then you guys went overseas. Was that after the down south trip?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks after. I think I took a week off, came back here to see people, and then we went to overseas. Yeah.
Which was your favorite country overseas?
I really liked Morocco.
Oh, wow.
We only got to spend one night there, though, so we didn't get a whole lot of experiences places there, but it seemed like a really cool place to be. And what I did see, it was awesome, and the food's great.
Oh, there's always good. It's always good to go to a place and enjoy the food. And like you said, you get a different experience from when you're in the States. You get to go somewhere else. You know, kind of, you guys are only there for a short period of time, but learn some different culture, try the different food, which is, I love to do. You can definitely try different food when I go to places. So
if you get the chance, you should try Moroccan food. It's awesome.
Yeah, wow. So what kind of inspired you guys to go overseas?
Well, my aunt likes to take trips every once in a while.
Okay.
She's a lawyer, and she's single, and so she's home alone a lot.
Okay, yeah.
She's got a lot of money to spend. So when she travels, she likes to go with someone. So she takes the two of us along. We went to Scotland and Ireland a couple years ago. And did a tour there. So it's just kind of time for another tour. And she'd never been to Spain, and neither had my sister. I'd been for like a weekend, but I hadn't seen much of it. So
yeah, wow. So how could you tear yourself away from such a great summer and come back to Cleveland, Ohio?
It was hard. It's definitely hard. Believe me, if I could spend the whole year just hanging out with my family, I would.
Oh yeah, but I know how much you enjoy spending time with your family. I definitely understand that. And I think it's good to be around family, especially since you've moved here from DC and, you know, none of your family's around in Cleveland. So I know what it can be like to kind of miss your family and just want to go home to visit for a little while.
Yeah.
Good. So are you looking forward to being back at school now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking some interesting classes. I'm kind of a little tired of school in general, so I'm glad it's my last year. But I'm learning some good stuff, and my internship sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Get some good experience under my belt, and then not have to go to school anymore. So.
Well, that's our goal. Once we go ahead and get our education, and then we can do what we want to do. What are some of the classes that you're interested in?
Well, I'm taking a class on trauma, and I've been particularly interested in that since last year. I worked with boys who had only been traumatized. I believe that was our population. They've been traumatized, and it was really interesting working with them and seeing some of the difficulties they face and working through that. And I want to go into work with homeless youth, and a lot of them have experienced some sort of trauma, so I think it'll be very valuable working with them to understand the impact of it. So I'm excited about that class in particular.
Definitely. It's always a good experience, you know, because sometimes people experience trauma that we don't even know about. We see them on a different kind of level or a different agency, and we don't assess for that. So I think it's good to have a class where you guys can learn about that and kind of try to apply it to your practice. Definitely. Cool. And your internship, you said, where is that going to be at?
It's at Adoption Network Cleveland, which is an agency that provides supportive services to people throughout the adoptive process, before, during, and after.
Yeah, I think I've heard of them a few times. I know they do some good work in Cleveland. Yeah. Do you know what you'll be doing there?
I'm working with the post-adoption program, and I'm not entirely sure what exactly I'll be doing yet. But I know the post-adoption program runs support services for adopted kids and their families, to sort of help make sure that the adoption sticks. You know.
Okay. So is it an adoption agency, or do they?
They don't do adoptions. They connect people with organizations that do adoptions. They sort of explain to people how the adoption process works, provide classes on how to go about adopting kids, and then they provide support services afterwards. And they also help adopted adults who are looking to find their birth families. Okay. So they help with the search process in that and reuniting families. Oh.
So it seems like they kind of serve different populations who have been affected or who have gone through adoption, kind of just whoever's been touched by adoption and things like that?
Exactly. They call it the adoption constellation. Used to be the triad, which was just adopted kids, birth parents, and adoptive parents, but they've sort of realized that more than just the parents and the kids are
definitely
families and
definitely
all that. So.
Oh wow, I think it's going to be a good learning experience. Do you?
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't have a lot of experience with adoption really at all, but I looking forward to learning a lot.
Is that what made you want to go to Adoption Network, because you don't have that much experience in it?
Yeah, that, and I think it'll be kind of relevant working with homeless youth.
Okay.
Sort of the same concept of finding them people who can help support them throughout their life, that kind of thing. And I haven't worked in an agency that's more macro practice. I've just done kind of direct practice stuff.
Okay.
So I think it'll be good to get the experience working in a nonprofit, seeing how everything's run, behind the scenes stuff that I can use later on when I hopefully set up my own nonprofit.
Nonprofit is definitely a whole nother beast than it is for profit.
Yep.
Do you have any dreams or things that you want to do with your nonprofit?
Well, I'm hoping to set up some kind of homeless shelter for LGBT youth. I have grand dreams that basically in my head look a lot like Professor X's home for the kids. That's kind of where I go with that. But I want to provide a place where homeless kids can, have somewhere safe to be and people who care about them.
Right. And specifically LGBT youth.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to just say we're only going to focus on LGBT kids, but at least put a strong emphasis on LGBT kids. Gender neutral dormitories and things for transgender kids and things like that. So
that would definitely take a lot of planning, a lot of time to get it all together. But you're starting it right now with your master's degree, and you're getting as much experience as you can. And I know that you're involved with a lot of other LGBT groups on campus, and just being an ally in that whole population, I think is a really positive start for you.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great. It's been 10 minutes.
Good. All right. Well, it was very good to see you again today, and I'm looking forward to meet you again. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Jessie. Have a great